Hi guys and welcome to BombAnime.
It's your girl Ruka.
And Big Boy Summer here.
Demon Slayer, Sword Village Arc, Love Hashira Mitsuri Kanroji.
Kanroji is dealing with hatred so effortlessly, and this has shown us how good she is, like her skill level. We've got to see hantengu get battled all season. We've got to see so many facets of his abilities, whereas with Gyoko we didn't really get to see as much.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. If we got this same level of attention for Muchiro, we would have probably had a better last episode. This episode by far was much better in the sense that we already knew how badass hatred was. We already knew what all his abilities were, and we knew that it got amplified when he turned into hatred. We're seeing Kanroji take point blank hits of abilities that were shattering eardrums and breaking legs of the juniors, and we're actually understanding that she deserves to be a Hashira. We're seeing her cut his abilities. He's using magic, she's using a sword, and she's cutting his abilities in half. Not just the Hydras, oh no, the lightning, the everything. And the fight was pretty good because both of them just wouldn't let up. And I know that Hatred's got the whole advantage of being a demon, and so therefore he will always be at full strength until the sun comes up. He doesn't tire or whatever. And Kanroji is human, and so she has, fatigue that could come into play. But we see these two opposing forces that just are evenly matched at the very least. But we see Kanroji getting stronger and stronger as the fight progresses.
Although I did think it was a shame that our only female Hashira is being used as like some kind of combination of fan service and comic relief, it kind of seemed like, especially in the beginning of the fight. So I find it hard to take her seriously, no matter what she's doing. Even if she's doing all these great moves, in the back of my mind, I just can't take her seriously.
See, I disagree with you there in the sense that A, she is not the only female Hashira. We saw Shinobu in season 1 and in season 2.
I forgot about her.
The second point as well, the fact that you said that she's a bit of comic relief and she's just, fan service and comic relief. Yes, there are elements of that. I'm not blind. I mean, there's two massive, excuses for that. But I do like the note that they took this episode, the whole note of acceptance. And the fact that she can be strong, she can be emotional, she can be fan servicey, she can be loud, she can have weird hair. I really like that.
Okay, well, I want to talk about that a little bit more when we go to her backstory. So, just for this fight right now, I really liked the way we saw Hatred assessing the situation really, really quickly in the moment. He was even able to see why Kanroji was able to survive his condensed attack, and that was that sound attack that was doing damage to everyone this whole season. We've seen it knock people out the sky, seize their nerve endings. We've seen their eardrums get blown. And she took the attack, although, she did she said blackout, it kind of seemed like a little bit of temporary paralysis. It didn't really do actual damage to her. So she really took that hit like a champ, and that was a condensed attack. I don't think anyone has dealt with the condensed form of that attack at all. So her body is amazing.
Okay.
That came out.
That came out exactly how you meant it to be, innit?
No,
it
didn't.
So, I was writing down all of Kanroji's moves that she made this episode. But
they all sounded dumb.
Yes, they all sounded dumb. So, let's go through them. Third form, Cat Love Shower. What the F? And then we had second form, Love Pangs. Sixth form, Cat-Legged Wings of Love. And fifth form, Swaying Love, Wind Love. They all have like crazy cat lady, single cat lady vibes about it, which was a precursor to the backstory that we ended up getting later, because I guess she's forever thinking she's going to be a spinster and single. But I just thought that for moves so elegant, could you not be bothered with the names? Because Kamikawa's got some cool names. Water Breather's got some cool names. Beast Breather's got some cool names. And then you dump these names on the Love Hashira. It doesn't sound very loving to me. It sounds like BS, to be fair.
That's why I was saying I can't take her seriously. It's not just one thing, it's a bunch of different things. And I also want to know, what the hell is a demon's crest? Because Hatred looked at her neck area and was like, that looks like a demon's crest. She had some kind of marking on her body that had just appeared. Things are getting really interesting because when we were talking about how we were side-eyeing their master and his motives and his relation to Michael Jackson, as you like to call him, but now we're seeing a bunch of different things that seem to be crossing over an awful lot, which is really making me think that maybe my theory of how demons came about being between Muzan and Kaguya doing something that they shouldn't. It's giving me Full Metal vibes. You know, how they were trying to bring back their family members from the dead, their mom from the dead. It went wrong. One brother wasn't too hot on it. The other brother was like, come on, let's do it. And then something goes wrong. And then we have a bunch of going down. Giving me the same kind of vibes, like these two brothers were involved in doing something weird that they shouldn't have been doing, trying to play God or something like that. It's gone wrong, it's backfired, and that's why we've got all these weird little crossovers, like cut from the same cloth.
What if, like you said, them two were playing God, and this whole thing between demon slayers and demons is a bet that they both have.
A bet?
Yeah, I know. A bet that they both have against each other, and whoever sides wins, that's the path that they're going to take to rule the world or rule the nation or do the end goal, and the other brother has to accept it and then bring their research in to help that side.
Flabbergasted!
What if that is it?
No!
Because I was thinking that this might be the case, and the fact that you brought it up, I can't stay silent no more. This is what I'm thinking, and there are no good guys here. Everyone's a or a pawn.
I wouldn't hate that, you know. I think that would be a really interesting direction to take everything in. I think it would be quite cool to explore that.
You think I could get a job at Mappa or Ufotable or one of them places?
You know that they don't write
I know.
Okay. I'm sorry, but I have a problem with Kanroji's backstory. Basically, it's that when she was 17 years old, she had this marriage that had been set up. It seemed like it was supposed to be some kind of arranged marriage type thing. And when he met her, he was like, nah, bruh, I'm not interested in you. And so she decided to change everything about herself. It didn't make any sense because no one in her family was bothered about her strength. Like, not even her dad was bothered. There was no strict gender roles in her family or in her village or wherever it is that she grew up. You couldn't really see anything like that. Her family supported her and were really proud of her strength. She was out here arm wrestling with full-grown men as a young little girl. And on top of that, her husband-to-be was ugly. And he was also, let's just be honest.
Wow. Okay.
He was ugly and he was rude, displaying a poor character. So would you really want to be with a guy like him? There was no societal pressure or any mold that anyone was trying to force her into. There was no one looking down on her apart from one single person in the whole entire thing. Everybody else was very supportive. And then on top of that, it just felt like she seemed to need constant reassurance from every single person around her. Even in this battle, the way that they did her backstory, it was kind of like, okay, she changed everything about herself. She set up another marriage and then she realized that she didn't want to do this anymore. She wanted to be herself. She wanted to help everyone. And it kind of ended on a note where, okay, she's embracing herself. And then we get to the present day and she's still in the same place, still needing reassurance from kids. It's still needing Kaguya to tell her how amazing she is.
I don't agree with your opinion, but I can understand how you got there. Look, the way I see it was that, yes, at first she was very loved by her family. Look, her father and mother celebrated her strength and showed it off. She was beating sumo wrestlers at eating and arm wrestling. She was helping her mum around the house with the heavy lifting while she was pregnant, and her family loved her for her, and that was great. But she woke up one day with a thought in her head that she needed a man. Like, her family celebrated her, and we saw that. We saw the love that they had. She was happy, but as I said, she's got it in her head that she needs a man and she needed to fit in. And because it's in her head, unfortunately, some of us live our whole lives in our own heads. It doesn't matter what society says. It doesn't matter what the truth is. I know a lot of women that think they are ugly, however, get approached every single day with no makeup on and tracksuits and, you know, the kind of clothes you put on just to go to the shop and come back. They still get stopped on the road because they're pretty. However, in their head, they're not. So I think this is the kind of situation that's happened here. There's something wrong with her. Her strength is a problem, her hair is a problem, her body's a problem, everything's a problem, and she needs to fit in. So she decided to dim her light in order to fit in and realize that that would be a mistake, but she's not fully healed yet.
Demon Slayer have seen the outcome of everything. The actual cause, the actual root cause is still society, but her society, they weren't against her in that way. The causes of these types of things isn't just inside of people's heads. It comes from the society.
I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. Demon Slayer's point was acceptance. The demon core will accept you how you are because chances are you're not going to be here for long. If you want to eat, eat. If you want to be strong, be strong. Because at the end of the day, it's a Demon Slayer core and we're here to do one thing, kill demons. And I think that acceptance is what made her happy to join the Demon Slayer core in the first place. A, she's helping people, and B, she's getting that acceptance that she got from her family from another source.
Hit the subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell for notifications. And if you want even more content, hit us up on BombAnime Insta. It's the place to be. Do you know what would be more interesting? I smell a little bit of a laboratory rat. We're seeing these random children from all these random families that are just all over the place. They're not like in the city. We've seen that there is like cities in this thing, and then you have like villages, and then you have people who are living in more remote areas as well. No matter where they are, there's a bunch of these children who seem to have powers before they even become demon slayers or Hashira or anything like that. We know that Muzan is out here doing a lot of experimentation, a lot of laboratory testing, etc, etc, etc. And it seems as if it's being used on the good side as well, which means that their science is way more advanced than, I guess, their weaponry. I kind of feel like maybe babies are being injected at birth with certain things. Maybe it is just adaptation, normal adaptation in human beings. Because there's a problem of demons, nature is responding to that by creating these children that have a little bit extra in their DNA.
I am willing to rule out the DNA bit in the sense that it's a natural selection thing. I'm willing to rule that out completely because that happens over generations and generations and generations over time. And 3 or 4 generations is all we know about the Demon Slayer core. Like 173 years is not enough. However, the injection of babies, that is very plausible. It's very, very plausible. We don't know what Kage is doing with his wife in the room by themselves all the time.
Or maybe they're manipulating the mother's DNAs before they have any children.
Yeah, and everyone has more than one child. Have you noticed?
I mean, well, that's kind of normal for the kind of setting that we're in. As earlier years, people would just naturally have more children than they do, like, in more modern times.
Good old slave labor. So... the authors here were focusing on acceptance and utilize the route that most people go through in their lives of thinking that they are not right or they don't fit in society. And I feel like that's where they messed up, because the characterization are both valid. Both statements are valid, but they couldn't pick one, so they chose both and it diluted each other. And I think that they need to sort that out.
Demon Slayer, tell us the stories we are actually interested in. We don't want to hear about Kanroji can't get a man. That's not what we want to do today. Tell us about why these babies are being genetically modified. Okay, that's just a theory. We want to know why these marks are showing up on a bunch of people. Now we've got a separate, different type of mark, which is the demon crest.
Every Hashira so far I've seen has a mark, and Tanjiro has a mark. So what's going on? Why do they all have marks? What is this mark? Is Ruka right? Are they all being injected at birth and then created super soldiers at birth with science so advanced that they can't utilize military grade weapons in their fighting against these? You know what? Let's not. I've done this one. Also, is it a prerequisite to have a mark to be a Hashira? Does it even have anything to do with Hashira? Because all the demons have marks. The upper demons have marks. Not all the lower ones do.
Muzan does stuff like sharing his blood in order to give everyone a boost in power. All these Hashira, this is what I've been thinking, right? There's all these Hashira knocking about. They are way more powerful than the average Demon Slayer, and we also spoke about this in an earlier episode about how the normal Demon Slayers are pretty weak.
Piss poor.
Yet the Hashira are like on a totally different level.
God
Is
tier.
Kaguya sharing his coughed out blood with them? I'm sorry.
You don't like this dude.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not. You said it.
Okay, let's move on.
The juniors came today. They came to fight. These guys did bits. Just because Mitsuru was here, they didn't let up. They carried on the pressure. They went on for that main body. They attacked the tree. And when they couldn't swing a sword, Genya used his teeth blood. He was like, yo, I am not letting this take me down. I am breaking this apart. And I am showing that I deserve to be here. And I'm pulling my weight. Me can't swing the sword, but me can bite the thing off.
Stop it. He also shared something else with us and said that he's basically a little similar to a demon. He can devour demons and then get some of their traits, which is actually what demons do to the strong people. They consume them and gain extra strength. The stronger they are, they can gain more strength. So Genya can literally do this. So that's making me think that when his eyes first turned black and he turned on Tanjiro, that was a symptom of him first consuming some of hantengu. And he must have done that when he got stabbed. That's why he had that extreme aggression. It was so out of character.
Well, I mean, the first time we met him, he was quite aggressive, so I don't think it's.
And they had just come out of fighting all of the demons.
Yep.
How did he survive? He probably had to consume one of the demons. So when he came out, he was again out of character. That's why he was acting like that.
Mate, I'm just
full theories today.
I'm not sure if it's out of character when, like, all we've seen is you be aggressive, mate. I mean,
that's not fair.
Wait, it's not fair that I'm judging him on his actions?
He has only been aggressive three times. 3 times, and the third time when we saw him was when he had lost the tooth and he had regrown it or whatever. Maybe some of his power usage creates these mood swings, because every other time he's been pretty chill. He's been very cooperative. He's been a team player.
Yeah, except for when he said, I'm going to be Hashira, I'm going to take the kill. And
that was after he consumed, I'm thinking,
theory.
He consumed the demon and then he was out of character again.
Okay, if you say so, whatever, Ruka. But I'm not saying he's a piece of shit. I'm just saying he's not a very warm, comforting person to be around. I'm not calling him a piece of shit, I swear.
Wow.
But in terms of the juniors and the team as a whole, it was a beautiful act of not giving up. And even when they saved Kanroji as well, and they gave her the pep talk that was necessary, and Tanjiro's eyes was constantly on the battle still. But Tanjiro has done bits.
He was the only one to notice that hantengu had yet again broken off from hatred. Not even Kanroji noticed this.
Yeah, she's
fighting. A Hashira. No.
I don't think you like her, bro.
Do you know what?
I don't think you do. I think you dislike Kanroji.
I'm not a massive fan.
But either way, the dream team came in. Genya obviously did the biting. Tanjiro did some slashes.
Leave Genya be. Leave him.
Tanjiro did some slashes, and Nezuko did some burning. They weren't letting this motherfucker go away.
Right.
And I love that little ending that they had with Nezuko coming in with that blanket.
Yes, because you know she's about to throw down.
Did it for me fully, bro.
And also this gives us a chance, it gives Tanjiro a chance to still cut off this guy's head, but your theory was that it's going to actually be Nezuko that actually comes in and kills him.
That's what
and you're still sticking by that.
I'm still sticking by it. I think Nezuko's the main character.
Well, okay, let's go to rating the episode. What would you rate this episode out of 10?
So for me, this episode was a 7.5. Now, don't get me wrong, it was a great episode when I got the great bits. But just like Ruka said, I could have done without the backstory for Kanroji, or at least half the length of time that it took. I didn't need all of that because it was energy filled, especially from the lull that we got last episode. I needed a high octane episode all throughout, and that's why it gets a 7.5 for me.
For me, it's a 7. Kanroji's backstory really let it down. Kanroji's characterization let it down. She's gonna need constant reassurance, constant hand-holding. We don't need this in the middle of a battle. We're fighting for our lives. And here you go, needing little children to tell you you're good. This is a 7. But the rest of the episode was really, really, really good.
In the battle, like, are you there? Like, what?
I'm fighting for my life.
No, you're not. Fuck.
No,
chill out,
okay.
Ruka, like, chill out. She cut off everything.
This is what I'm saying. Like, I know that she has done great stuff in the episode.
Yes.
I understand that she is a strong character, but the things that they have attached to her character bring down the integrity of the character. And that can't be ignored. She did a lot, but still, she's hard to like. Guys will like her. Do you know why? Do you know why? It's not the sword.
Is it the hair? Because the hair is amazing, to be honest.
It might be the sheath.
That was clever.
If you've made it this far, you're a real one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to get more of our episodes. See you on the next one. Peace.